Welcome, students, to our third try to start the podcast. Woo! We made it. Okay, we got a full class today. We got academic one. We got Horton, Here's a Who. We got Shy Willie. We got Zyger. We got Boggles Durden. We got Travo Durden. We got Zenik. We got Smokey the Bear. And we have the Learninator. Welcome, everybody, to class. The class is getting full, so we're trying to figure out. Let me bring everybody's attention to this thread, just in case some of you guys missed it already. We're going to hop on over to the Student Center. This is where Manhood Academy becomes your academy. Yeah. So, as you can see, we're getting full here, and Google Plus is only going to let us have 10 people in here at once. So, obviously, we're going to be expanding beyond that, and we're starting to feel the growing pains right now. So, what we did is we posted, we need nerd power to expand the classroom. This has several options here. As you can see, Bogler posted one of them. It's an expensive option, but there's WebEx. We want to see if we can actually get this big blue button going. I think it's a free open source software for like having student and teacher webcams. It's specifically for this, for like correspondence type courses, so I can lecture to as many students as we can get capacity on the server. So that's something we probably want to look at.
Check out their website. Apparently, the installation is very easy.
Okay, so we want. Yeah, so we're gonna have to try and test that out in our free time, and if we can get that going, we can get more students on, obviously, which will be great for us. So it'll just depend on the server capacity of what kind of demand it'll make on it. But I guess we can try that for now. And it looks like it's open source, and it looks like it doesn't have any limits on it. I guess the limit is just on our server side. So anybody that's a nerd, aka Zyger, or anybody else with computer expertise, or whoever's listening to this podcast, I'd like you to go ahead and check out this link here. And we need Nerd Power thread in the student forum, in the student lounge, and go ahead and check it out and let me know if you have any expertise or you can help with setting this up.
I can click next on the installation thing. Thank you. We'll call you when we need it. Yeah,
shut your Indian hole. Fucking Boggles likes to ruin everything. Okay, so that's one of our future projects that we need to get. We're going to try and get going as soon as possible so we can get more students in the classroom. I don't like kicking the students out and making another lab, even though that's a great idea for you guys to do that want to get into class and it's full. Go ahead and make a student lab, post the link in the student lounge, and just post a link to the thread so people can click on your thread and get into your lab. Don't post the direct link in the chat room. Remember, just post the link to your thread in the student lounge, and that's where you can post the direct link to your Hangout for the student lab. All right, let's get this crack-a-lackin'. Going over to podcasting topics. I've been actually keeping up to date with the expression threads these last couple of days, which is surprising because every time I click on the thread or click on one of the red buttons, I think, oh, all the student threads are clicked on. They're all gone. All of a sudden, a new crop of buttons or red dots appear indicating new threads. And you guys have been posting some pretty quality expression posts in there, so it's tough to just pass them by. Like I usually just click on them, read a couple sentences, and say, oh, fuck, this is going to be terrible. But I've been reading through a couple of these, and they've been very decent. I've been quoting from some of them, posting some of the quotes in the student lounge. Let's actually go over to the student lounge and check out some of the quotes. Oops. If you haven't already done this, which I made the mistake of doing, go ahead and click on your sound at the bottom of the chat room. Let's see. We're going to go over to Student Quotable. It's one of the sticky threads in the student lounge. Let's see who's been quotable so far. Delete. All right. I'm going to just go to page 2 because I know I quoted some recent ones here. Page 2 of this thread. Oh, Zenik 9000. Go ahead and read that, Zenik. Zenik, unmute your mic. Read.
Sorry, hold on. It's a bit blurry. I'm going to go there myself. Okay, here we go. I see the most prideful students have the most difficult time at the academy because they constantly try to confront what they don't agree with instead of trying to examine it. Trying to change the perspective of a prideful person is like trying to scrape the shit off a baking pan after you cooked chicken wings. It's hard.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly my experience. Dealing with people with the most pride who come in here with it doesn't even have to be a chip on your shoulder. It's just that you're very stubborn. It's like, the irony is, you're coming here to learn something because obviously you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. But yet you want to immediately start teaching me or teaching the academy. It doesn't work that way. And that's why you fuck up. And that's why you never get anywhere. Because you're so busy, stubbornly resisting learning anything. And yet the irony is you're here to try to learn something. You can't, what's that old Chinese proverb or saying to learn something, your teacup must first be empty. It's basically along those lines. If you're full of stuff already, you can't be taught anything. It's just like it works the same way with expectation management. You can't lay competing expectations on top of each other. You first have to remove the bad expectation. You can't build the new expectation in until the bad expectation has been removed. And if your pride is attached to that bad expectation, it's going to be a mother to teach you. Because it's like playing tug of war.
Martial arts, right? They expect students to be humble.
Yes. It's going to be like a tug of war, pulling that bad expectation out of your hands. You got like a death grip on it. So the tighter your grip on it is, the more pride is attached to that expectation, to that worldview, the harder it is to get rid of it. DBP wrote, why don't you read that one, Boggles? Tyler Durden, why don't you read that one?
The fastest muscle movements.
Whoever is paying attention, Boggles, what are you doing?
You can take a guy.
Boggles,
Yeah,
why are you traveling through a time warp?
Boggles,
why are you traveling through a time warp? What the fuck are you doing?
I was moving.
Yeah, why?
Sorry.
What are you doing?
I went to get food.
What?
I went to the other room to heat up some food.
Okay, well, let's have somebody who's paying attention in class.
I got it now.
No, you're not. Horton, go ahead and read it.
You can take a guy with the fastest muscle movements in the world and put him into boxing, but if his opponent can read him before he even gets his punch, it won't matter.
DVP, some Bruce Lee wisdom. You can take a guy with the fastest muscle movements in the world and put him into boxing, but if his opponent can read him before he even gets his punch, it won't even matter. I don't even remember why I quoted that. That's how amazing it was.
Sounds cool.
I usually like to have a point behind quoting these things. I just don't remember that one offhand. Another one by DVP. You being smart is not an obstacle to me. It is a benefit to all of us. This is actually a very good quote. Why did I quote this one, Smokey?
I don't know.
Learninator, why did I quote this one?
Because it's true.
How so?
A smart person brings everyone up to their level. To their level.
To their level? What was that?
Superman.
What was that, Superman?
A smart person brings other people up to their level, not down.
Well, okay, but why did I quote that? I mean, that by itself might be true, but again, the other person has to, a couple things have to happen. But there's a reason why I quoted this. The sentiment itself you don't explain the sentiment itself.
I know why.
Zyger.
Yes. Well, a lot of guys come here with the feeling of competition. Like, they're trying to do better than everyone else, and if other people are doing something really good, then that just means they suck more. But as we learn here and as we train, we learn that it's more about cooperation, about socializing. When you socialize, when other people do good things, it helps you. It never brings you down.
This is what people don't understand about social interaction. When you have an optional view of social interaction, there's many ways you can look at social interaction. You can look at social interaction as a team sport, as a competition, as a way to get ahead. Like, I'm sure a lot of people, when they come here, they think of it like business school. You know, there's 10% of the people are going to get weeded out. They're like fodder. They're nobody. They're just statistics. They're ready to get cut from the team. They're worthless. And then there's the other 80% who are going to be, the average students. And then there's the 10% who are going to be the managers. So they already have this kind of case system in their head, this social system in their head where they're dividing people based on their ability or, what they can accomplish. So they're thinking of people in competitive terms. And the easiest way to think of that would be like a winner and a loser. If you win, somebody has to lose. So by nature, they're already coming in with a competitive mindset, with their social view is that in order for me to win this social interaction, somebody has to lose. And that is a really base view of social interaction. That is a really dysfunctional view of social interaction. When you become socially competent, you realize there's no such thing as a separate individual social interaction. Social interaction is like your body. It's very organic. Everything affects everything. There's no such thing as an isolated social interaction. I'll give you an example. Who are probably the lowest form of a social group that you can think of right off the top of your head, Horton? Just a class of people, just a general class of people in the population right now, all over the world, who are probably one of the lowest classes. Learninator?
Untouchables in India.
Untouchables, okay. Even more general than that. What happens if you commit a crime? Where do you go?
Oh, criminals?
Yeah, criminals. You go to jail, right? Prisoners, inmates. Those are probably the lowest class of people on the planet in general, generally speaking. Probably lower than homeless people because they've committed a crime against society, so they're looked down upon. So generally, when people reference, let's say, Shy Willie's referencing his mom, his family, he thinks of them in a certain way, a certain class of people, right? How would Shy Willie compare his mom to a cashier at a grocery store, Zenik?
Well, I guess he would view the cashier at the grocery store. Well, he would view his mom in a higher regard than the cashier at the grocery store, because the cashier is just a random person, right? And his mom is his mom.
Right. Okay. So he doesn't know what's the difference between his mom and the cashier.
I'm not entirely sure.
What's the difference between his mom and the cashier, Travo? Unmute your mic.
His mom he's emotionally connected to his mom. He lives with her every day, so he
has a what with her?
A relationship.
Yes, he's got a relationship with his mom. Okay, mute your mic again. I'm getting my echo. So he's got a relationship with his mom. He doesn't have a relationship with a cashier. Now, what's the difference between his relationship with his mom, or his view of his mom, and his view of a homeless person? Horton?
His mom's much higher in his estimation.
Okay. Even more so than the cashier?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What's the difference?
I don't know. Homeless people you just kind of despise. It's like...
Why are they different than the cashier?
Because the cashier, she can be of use to you at least.
Okay. Can check things out, but a homeless person?
There's just nothing positive they bring.
Okay. Can you be more specific, Learninator?
They have no order. No
I said more specific, not as general as the universe. Zenik, can you be more specific?
I don't think I can.
Boggles, can you be more specific?
I just think one is more valuable, but I'm trying to think.
Right, but why would you put more stock in the cashier than the homeless person?
You're more likely to have a relationship with the cashier than with the homeless person. You're not going to have most likely not going to have a relationship with the homeless person.
Why?
Because the way you view them really as a low value.
Exactly, why?
Because they don't have much to bring to the table because of their disorderly condition. And the way society views them.
Okay, Travo.
Well, like the homeless person, he doesn't contribute anything to the society. Like, he doesn't, you don't need a homeless, if all the homeless people were gone, everything would still be fine.
Okay, so you're saying cashier. Yeah, it has a function in society, right? Takes your change, whatever. Mute your mic, please. Takes your change, and the homeless guy is just sucking up resources, basically, like on social welfare, etc. Peeing on your streets, making things miserable for you. Now, what's Shy Willie's view of his mom in relation to, like, a prisoner? Tim Will?
He views his mom at a much higher regard than a prisoner, so he's going to take into account what she says a lot more.
Yeah, why does he have a higher regard for his mom than a prisoner?
She raised him.
That's it? Horton?
Well, as opposed to a homeless person that kind of ends up as like a moral zero, a prisoner is actually a negative person. They've actually done something against
you. Yeah, they're actually trying to harm you in some way, right? Either steal your money, hurt you, etc., right? They're actively breaking laws. So while the homeless person is kind of like a nuisance, when you go beyond that into criminality, you're actively breaking laws, and it's more damaging to you than, say, a homeless person who is just laying there and taking up resources. They're actively trying to damage you in some way. Okay, so we see all these different types of relationships, right? And, of course, Shy Willie's mom is on the top tier of that relationship scale there, or that relationship graph, whatever you want to call it. So let me ask you another question then. Who has more effect on Shy Willie? Shy Willie's mom or the prisoner? Learninator?
His mom.
Zenik?
I'd say his mom too.
Zyger?
Indirectly, both equally the same. Directly his mom. Because we're all affected by everyone else in society.
Depending on the situation, in general, his mom, but there can be situations where a prisoner can affect him more.
That's right. That's the right answer. You don't know is the right answer. Because the prisoner could escape, could stab Shy Willie. Then Shy Willie is directly affected by the prisoner's knife, isn't he?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Shy Willie could have been raised by his mom and listened to his mom and love his mom and direct his whole life, according to how his mom, influences him. But that prisoner could just break out one day and just stab him. Who has more influence now, his mom or the prisoner? Indeterminate,
Prisoner.
right? Who knows? We don't know. We don't know the circumstances that'll bring him in contact with that prisoner or not. Does a prisoner suck up resources from Shy Willie? Travo? Travo?
Yeah.
Does the prisoner suck up resources from Shy Willie?
Yes, he does.
How so?
Well, let's see. Our tax dollars go to pay for the prisons, to give them food and everything, and they're not contributing anything back, so it's like waste. It's like a black
Exactly.
hole.
It's just like a weight. Just like you're carrying around a dead weight. Mute your mic, please. Yes, it's exactly like you're carrying around extra unnecessary load. So, you have another burden on you. Tax dollars. Any other way the prisoner could affect you? Shy Willie?
I don't know.
Learninator. Any other way? Oh, academic one. Any other way the prisoner could affect Shy Willie? We got taxes. We got accidental stabbings or intentional stabbings. What else do we have?
You could just read or hear about him in the news and be very pissed off about whatever he committed.
Okay, so he's pissed off. What else? You have something there in the media. What happens when we hear about serial killers?
We don't like it. We feel
get scared.
Okay, let me ask you this. What happens when we hear about, what happens when we hear about, scared, but what else happens? What happens when we hear about terrorists? What happens to our airport security?
It goes to shit. Like, not shit. It goes like, the experience becomes shitty. You gotta take off your shoes, your clothes.
What happens to your airport travel time?
It increases.
Double.
Right? Couple hours, you gotta stay in security lines.
Yeah.
Somebody's gotta pay for the security.
Yeah.
There's more hassles. The general atmosphere is more hostile because now people are more paranoid about prisoners, about serial killers. Do you think you would have a better chance getting a ride hitchhiking now in 2012 or in 1902? When do you think you'd have a better chance of getting picked up as a hitchhiker?
1980.
1902 or 2012, Zyger?
1902.
1902,
well,
right?
There were cars then.
Well, okay, let's say when the first car was invented, right? You'd have a better chance of getting picked up then because the national atmosphere wasn't as crazy, wasn't as paranoid, wasn't as, warning you about strangers and not picking up strangers and dangerous people and warnings and terrorism, etc.
There's a lot.
Yes.
So basically what you're saying is that our parents and the prisoners and the terrorists all affect our lives somehow.
Yes, that is
directly
or indirectly.
Parents.
It doesn't matter. They may affect your life directly as well, as we talked about in the escaped prisoner example, or how he indirectly affects his airport travel, etc. So there's many, many ways somebody you don't know can affect your life. Just because you don't know them doesn't mean they're not affecting you. That is the point of understanding that social interaction is a whole organism. It's not all these disjointed little talks. It's not just me and you, Smokey the Bear. It's not just me and you, Horton. It's not just me and you, Shy Willie. It's not just me and you, Zyger. It's all of us collectively. You will have an effect on how Shy Willie does at the Academy. You will have an effect on how Zenik does at the Academy. All of you collectively will have an effect on how Learninator responds in the classroom. How do you think Learninator would respond if it was just me and him versus me and 9 other people and him? What do you think the difference would be, Horton?
I'm not sure one way or the other. He might be more reserved or more.
So you don't think it would have an effect if Learninator? Let me ask you: if it was just you and me in this classroom, how would you respond versus if it's you and me and everybody else that you see right now in the classroom?
I'd probably talk a lot more.
No, I'm talking about Learninator. I'm asking him.
Are you asking me?
Yes, you.
Well, actually, like Horton was saying, I'd probably talk a lot more, and it'd probably be easier to open up.
Yeah, it'd be much easier for you. So not only do individual students have an effect on your life here, but everybody as a whole has an effect on you. Cumulatively, there's an effect on you. So in every single way, these social interactions, these people you don't have a relationship with, they're still affecting you. So it is in your best interest to influence these relationships or not influence these relationships.
That's me?
Yes, you.
It's in my best interest to influence these relationships.
Why? Why not just sit back like the other students are doing and go, well, they're in class, I'm just here to learn. Who cares about them? I'm here to learn social interaction. If they learn or they don't learn, so what? At least I'm learning something, I'm improving, it'll improve my life. Why bother?
How they do affects how I will do.
Exactly. Do you realize your social incompetence affects my social competence, Professor Plum's social competence? How so? How so, Shy Willie?
If we...
Well, I know that if this academy was filled with socially competent people, and I was the only asshole, I would improve a lot faster.
Oh, that's true. Okay, that's one way.
That's how I have to do it.
How does your social incompetence affect me, Academic One?
Well, since you're having an interaction, then it kind of matters what the competence level of the other person is.
Okay, so it just at the base level, if I talk to you and you're socially incompetent, it's going to drag me down. I got to wait like an extra hour just to get something out of you. Whereas a socially competent person, it would take them like 2 seconds to get out of them, so I can move on in the social interaction or grow in the relationship a lot faster. Shy Willie, how else do you socially incompetent people at the academy affect the great Professor Plum? Spit it out, Shy Willie.
If we're responding... Sorry.
Spit it out, Shy Willie. The smile is not the answer. It's either the answer or I don't know. One or the other.
I don't know.
Okay, that's the right answer. Zenik, what's the answer?
Yes. I want to say that indirectly, we also, or not indirectly, but directly, we also, I feel like we might motivate you for what you're doing.
You're going to motivate me. All these socially incompetent people, I'm motivated. Woo!
I guess so, because I mean, when you get
You guess wrong. I'm not motivated by you socially incompetent people. Tim Will.
Yeah.
How do all you socially incompetent people affect the great Professor Plum and his social competence?
Well, it takes a lot more it takes a lot more work for you to get us to your level. Either that or you're gonna
Okay, yeah, that's in the classroom. What else, Zyger?
Well, I don't know why you say that you're not motivated at all. Because if we're saying like, oh, I really enjoy your class,
well, let's say
1,000 people listening to you, you'll feel a lot more interested in putting out more material.
Yeah. So my motivation is you guys are listening to me. Oh, people are listening to me. I can't wait to teach you guys. No.
Well, you feel like you're having an effect.
No, I do not do things just because I feel like I'm having an effect. That's more of an altruistic answer that is maybe somewhat of a motivator, but not a major motivator. Academic One. Yeah. Yeah. What happens to the social atmosphere in my land, in my nation, in my city because of you and your yeah?
I suppose it's not as interesting and fun as it could be.
Yeah, that's on the light side. That's on the light side of the troubles you create. What else does this Bogler, what kind of problems do you create for me in the social environment?
Who I create?
Yeah, you.
Well,
all the students at Manhood Academy, their social incompetence, how does it affect the great Professor Plum and his social competence?
It vastly decreases the quality of your social interaction. Because
be more specific.
Because say, we're having a party and you invite Shively over, you're like trying to have a good time, you're talking to the girls, and Shively's sitting there in the corner.
Okay, yeah, that's just within the academy. Let's say where you guys aren't present.
Oh, well, we're all gonna be emasculated faggots, we're gonna keep creating bitches everywhere.
He just hit on it. Wait, what are you creating?
We're creating more and more bitches with our faggot attitude.
Okay, Boggles hit it right on the head. For every emasculated guy out there, there's going to be a girl who you're going to be allowing to behave like a bitch. You're going to come in contact with plenty of girls in your life, and they're going to behave a certain way towards you, and because you're emasculated, you're going to take the chick position, and they're going to take the guy position, and you're going to create an entire mentality, an entire consciousness of women who behave a certain way. They will say, oh, my guy behaves that way too. Oh, you are allowed to do this? That means I'm allowed to do it.
Well,
Travo.
We'll contribute to the problem that's already there.
Exactly.
Okay, did you call on me, right?
Yes, I call on you because you had your hand up.
Okay, I also want to say that if we keep being emasculated men, then there will be more laws and more legislation passed that goes against...
that's another problem.
It's all about.
If there's more emasculated men, they create social policies that affect me. Violence Against Women Act, right? The VAWA laws, divorce laws, right? All kinds of things that affect me eventually. So, mute your mic, please. Travo. Mr. Echo. So, it's in my best interest to always, what, Horton?
Continue teaching others.
Always, always, always what, Zyger?
Make others follow your expectations.
Yes, always, always, always what, Zenik?
I don't know.
When I step into a room, when Zenik steps into a room, when Tim Will steps in the room, what's in his best interest to always, always do?
Can you be more specific?
No. Academic 1. What's in your best interest and my best interest to always, always, always do?
You want to fix their dysfunctional expectations.
Okay, you guys are all hitting on it. It's the exact. You guys are all on the right path here. It's to always affect the relationships, or always influence the relationships, or always influence the other person. Always. It's always in your best interest to create a relationship versus just to sit back and allow whatever relationship is there or non-existent relationship is there to occur. There's always going to be some type of relationship. It may not be good. It could just be you and the other guy are just strangers. So you maintain, a cordial existence. Hey, how you doing, Horton? Oh, good. Fine. Right? We have a lot of these relationships, right? With cashiers, with janitors, with people we just know, with our, second, third removed cousins. It's very, very formal, very casual. Very just, hello, how you doing? I'm fine. Then we have our family members and, our loved ones, people we're dating, etc. So we have all these levels of intimacy and all these levels of, different, how we view these relationships is like, oh, this relationship is important. This one not important. Doesn't matter. This one over here is worth pursuing. This one over here doesn't even affect my life. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Every single relationship affects you. This is why it's in my best interest to teach you guys social interaction. This is why it's in your best interest to learn social interaction. This is why I always ask the same question, how are your relationships with the other students? Because you're at an academy learning social interaction, thinking you can learn it just by writing a post, or just hearing a lecture, or just showing up to class. Are you learning social interaction right now, Shy Willie?
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are. Zyger, are you learning social interaction right now?
Learning them, then depends what you mean, but I guess I'm learning something about social
Yeah,
interactions.
you're learning something about it. But practically speaking, if you didn't have me talking to you, and you just talk to people every day, how would you learn? What way do you think you would learn more? Just talking to people every day, or listen to me speak about the proper way to socialize?
Talking to people every day would make me learn by trial and error.
Yes, you would definitely learn something by trial and error, over and over and over. So if you're at this academy just thinking you're going to absorb things and it just runs like a regular class, you are sadly mistaken. This is a social academy. This means that you are learning what it means to be social. You don't even know what it means to be social yet. If you just thought you were showing up here and you guys are hanging out and practicing talking to your buddies or people who seem interesting in class, you don't understand social interaction yet. Social interaction happens when, Tim Willie?
It happens the minute you get up to the minute you go to bed.
Yes. Anytime you come in contact with people, you're training, you're socializing. Okay, let's say you never came to the academy, Tim Will. You never came to the academy, you never even saw me. You never even found the ebook. Are you training in social interaction throughout the day?
Yes.
Yes. You are picking up habits. You are making habits. What habits did you develop before you found the ebook, Horton?
They're mostly dysfunctional.
Yeah, like answering a sentence without a complete thought. They are mostly dysfunctional. You picked up a lot of those habits because nobody said, what the fuck are you talking about, Horton? Be specific. There are other people in the class. Explain yourself. Justify your reasoning. Make it clear to other people. Make your expectations clear. They let you get away with, yeah, it affected me. Yeah, it was a thing.
It was a thing.
Exactly. So if you let people like Horton come into your life and give incomplete, nonsensical answers like that, your world will turn into a nonsensical place where people give general answers that mean nothing. I can't tell you how many retards have come into the chat room and said, oh, this book I read is just like your book, or this PUA system is just like your PUA system, or this article I read, it's just like what you guys are teaching here, just a couple things are different. We're on the same team, bro. High five. No. No, no, no. This is just retards reading the ebook from their point of view and applying everything on top of it, not even considering that what they're reading is vastly different from what they're coming across on the internet or in their own perspective or what they've developed as habits growing up. Not even realizing it. Why don't they realize it? Because nobody's ever bothered to say, be specific. That's wrong. That doesn't make sense. What do people always say in lieu of that? Yeah, that answer's different. You just have a different view than me. Both our answers are right. Yeah, bro, that's good. I just want to get along with you, right? We can agree to disagree. No! If this was We Can Agree to Disagree Academy, nobody would be here. I would rather talk to myself than to talk to all of you and just agree to disagree. We would get nowhere. Agreement is getting rid of the bullshit in the conversation, is getting rid of the bullshit in the relationship. That's the simplest terms I can think of to put it in. In lieu of just finding the orderly expectation, the least dysfunctional expectation, in the simplest terms, agreement or proper agreement means getting rid of all of the wrong answers. We're going to have wrong answers. You're going to have wrong answers. Everybody's going to have wrong answers. If we want to agree on something, we better get rid of all the wrong answers. Right, Travo? He's like, right. Travo's playing Pokemon right now. I can't hear. All right. Let's pull out one more quote, and then we'll get over to 1EM report before we start the expression section. Oh, Boggler, double quotes right here. Boggles, can you read those? Can you read your double quotes? Go for it.
The more bros I speak to, and the more exposure and experience I get, the less neurotic I am.
Oh, why did I love that quote, Zenik?
Because it's true. I mean, I guess I don't know.
Thank you for your Horton answer. Expand on that. Horton, can you expand on Zenik's Horton answer?
It's just a good way of saying that we become more socially competent through practice, through training.
Beyond that. Academic one.
Well, it also illustrates how without social interaction, we become very neurotic because our needs aren't getting met.
Yes, you need social interaction, not only just as a means of practice, but it deals with a lot of your neurotic thoughts. Not only do you go, oh, that guy has the same neurotic thought as me, we need to deal with that. It also has like a check and balance system. When you're talking to Zyger and you say, oh, Zyger, by the way, I saw these purple unicorns yesterday and they're really freaking me out. And Zyger goes, Boggles, snap the fuck out of it. What are you talking about? That's nonsense. You're talking foolishness. And Boggles goes, oh, and if I didn't talk to you, I never would have known that. That's exactly why it's so good to socialize with guys, even socially incompetent guys. At least that's better than staying in your room with one socially incompetent retard, you, and not learning anything and going beyond that and becoming delusional. Reinforcing bad habits and reinforcing these crazy perspectives. You wouldn't believe the type of perspectives, or maybe you would believe, maybe you have had some experience talking to other people and finding out, whoa, this guy, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Where's this guy coming from? How does he even have that thought? How does he even have that perspective? Where did he develop it? He developed it in his room, by himself, spending hours and hours of time there with no other dissenting voice, with no other confirmation of his views, with no other critical eye trained upon his thoughts, just his own. That's how he developed that view. You want to know how people got to be hoarders? You ever seen that show Hoarders? And you wonder, how can fucking people live on like literally 2 feet thick of raw garbage, like just fucking food everywhere, rats, used diapers? How the fuck can they do that? You know how they do that? You know how that's the only way that's possible? How is the only way that's possible, Shy Willie? Shy Willie's always suspenseful with his lag.
Because they spend so much time just living in their head.
Yes. Not only just in their head, Zyger, how is that possible? How could they have that 2 feet thick of garbage on their floor?
Well, obviously it's a very dysfunctional situation. The most I can think of, like, totally disorderly. So the only way this can persist is if no one is there to, like...
Yeah, they can. You think they have a lot of people visiting their house and going, oh, I can't wait to go to Travo's house with this 2 feet thick of, like, old piece of crust and rats crawling around. This is going to be awesome.
Yep.
How is that possible, Zyger? Say it once again.
Because they're all alone. No one ever comes to see them. No one tells them how filthy it is.
Yeah, so, nobody fucking puts his crazy neurotic perspective in check. If I came over to a house with a foot of garbage, I would say, I'm going to burn your house down. I'm never coming here again, or something is mentally wrong with you and it needs to be fixed immediately. I would not let that persist. So, interacting with people, even socially incompetent people, protects you from becoming a neurotic mess. Guards you from ending up a fucking hoarder or any other crazy class of neuroses or mental disorder that you can think of under the sun. And we have plenty of them, where we get medicated for them. Plenty of people on Prozac, etc. So we have all kinds of mental disorders because people are becoming more and more isolated. You could stay in your house, get on the internet, just talk to people on the internet, and have you could have food delivered to you now. They have services where food is delivered to you. You don't even have to leave your house.
You can find the hoarder's forum.
You can find a hoarder's forum where people collect stuff and agree with your perspective. You can, you could fucking, stay online all day. You could pay your bills online. You don't have to you can minimize your contact because the internet and technology convenience has made your life so seemingly, carefree that you can have all this time to yourself. But that is one of the most dangerous things possible. To isolate yourself is one of the most dangerous things possible for a socially competent person, for a social being. You think, I know how many people have posters on the wall of Professor Plum, right? But if Professor Plum was out in the wilderness by himself for 2 years or even a year, something would happen in Professor Plum's head that would just, when you finally contacted him again after those 2 years, he would say, wait a second. This isn't the socially sexy, competent Professor Plum I knew 2 years ago. What happened to this guy? The same thing that happens if Zenik doesn't eat for 2 weeks.
Malnourished.
The same thing that happens if Horton doesn't breathe for 5 minutes. If your needs aren't being addressed, you will be affected like everybody else. I will be affected like everybody else. If I don't talk to people for a year, I'm going to be just like Tim Will. Tim Will. I'll be just as grumpy as Tim Will. I'll be just as grumpy as Tim Will. Oh, Tim Will. He's a special guy. I always read your face, Tim Will. I look at your face and I say, this is a guy who's troubled, who's vexed, who's perplexed. I want to get to the bottom of Tim Will. It's just like when I see a happy guy like Zenik smiling, a neurotic guy, but he's got a smile, so it's not like a poker face. I can tell if this guy is going to stab me the next moment, or he's having a good time. He's generally in better spirits because of the academy. So it always troubles me when I see a vexed expression like Tim Will, a vexed guy. Something's going on in his head. I want to know. This is my expectation, to shape the people in my social interactions. If I'm with a friend, hanging out with a friend who is normally talkative, and all of a sudden he has an expression like Tim Will, and he hasn't talked for a long time, it bothers me. I want to know what's the problem, because he's affecting my social interaction. When Tim Will doesn't speak, when Tim Will is quieter, when Tim Will sits there, and he's not like Boggles, just an open book ready to share something, it bothers me. It bothers my social interactions. It bothers my enjoyment of the conversation. If we're all talking here and Tim Will's like Tim Will, I'm going to be bothered. I'm not going to be concentrating on everybody having a good time. I'm going to be focused on why Tim Will is having a bad time. Just like with Academic One, I can't even see him. I see his little fish flying in in a circle of a wave here, right? I don't know what's going on with this guy. So I always got to check. I got to check his voice tone. I got to check how open is he when I'm talking to him, right? I got to pay attention to him. So if I have 9 students in class, I can't just always go to Boggles. I know Boggles is an open book right now. I know Boggles will fucking train wreck the podcast if I let him. But by the same token, it's very cheering to talk to Boggles because he always has a ready answer, even if it's the wrong answer. And he's got a good expression. He's very open, so his candidness allows me to have a good relationship with him. I want to talk to him. I look forward to talking to him, even though he's fucking aggravating as hell and he's Indian, right? Tech support, right? Boggles. I had a good time golfing with Boggles. As much as I rail against Boggles, we had an awesome time golfing last week. It was fun hanging out with him. So this guy right here is affecting my social life right now. Boggles, the fucking loser from the forum, the worst student in the academy, affects my social life in a positive way. I look forward to seeing his face. In classroom, if I know he's here, I know I can count on at least one person is going to be ready to give answers. They might be the wrong answer, but they're going to be ready to participate. They're going to be ready to affect my social life. What about you guys here? What about Zyger? Zyger always has this kind of contemplative look on his face. He might have a wise answer, he might not. I don't know. Is he thinking, what if I give the wrong answer? Is he okay sharing his answers in class? Is he like a clowny guy where he kind of does these like mock expressions to over exaggerate how he could be feeling? Is that Zyger? What about Shy Willie? I look at Shy Willie and I think, well, fuck, this guy, he's good for 1 or 2 answers. Plus, I gotta wait for the lag. It's gonna be... Yes. Right? It's like 10 minutes plus the yes. So now I gotta work to get 4 more words out of Shy Willie. It's like pulling teeth. So then how do I get words out of Shy Willie? I've got to give him positive incentives. So I got to talk to him. I got to pay attention. I got to make him laugh. I got to encourage him, right? I got to open myself. If I'm a closed guy and I say, hey, Shy Willie, what's the answer? And he goes, I don't know. Or no. Or I don't, it's 1-word answers. And I go, okay, next student. Who's more talkative? I just focus on Boggles. What do you think's going to happen to Shy Willie's social competence? It's going nowhere. It's going down. He's getting no feedback. He's not growing. He's going to atrophy.
That's why I wonder why sometimes you're so patient with the shy students. You're trying to
because he fucking affects the classroom. If I let Shy Willie be Shy Willie the whole time, it will knot me like if you have a sweater and you pull a thread and you got a little thread hanging off your sweater.
Yeah.
Or like if you have your socks arranged in your sock drawer. My sock drawer's not this arranged, but let's say I was that neurotic where all the socks were lined up and one sock is off. One sock's like at a 45-degree angle. And I thought about it at work. I think about it while I was out on a date. I think about it while I was eating. That sock is fucking at a 45-degree angle. I'll tell you something that happens sometimes. I'm at my house, and I don't have anybody to answer to, so I just fucking throw my socks on the ground, right? And a pair of socks on the ground. I'll put those on a little bit. And then I go, I'm going to put a new pair of socks on. And I'll have 2 pairs of socks on the ground. And every time I walk by them, I go, I should probably pick those socks up and throw them in the hamper. And I walk by them again, I go, I should probably pick those socks up and throw them in the hamper. Every fucking time I walk back to the bathroom, I see those socks. Every time I walk into the kitchen, I see those socks. Or going back from my bathroom to the kitchen. And then I walk into my bedroom, and I go, I'm going to go get my stuff and go to a cafe and work on this thing on the site. And I see those socks as I leave. When I come back in to take a pee again, I pass by those socks. They're fucking gnawing on me every time. And then it builds up. It doesn't just stay at one level. Every time I see those socks, it's a cumulative effect. It's like seeing a messy house. It just gets messier and messier. And it's like hoarders fast forward to me. It's like seeing that trash grow from 1 inch to a foot to 2 feet. And eventually I'm on top of a fucking dump. I have to do something at some point. So it's like, sometimes I'm just walking out and I see 3 pairs of socks on the ground. I go, fuck. And I just go over and pick them up and throw them in the hamper. And it's like, You know why that is there? Why is that there? Learninator?
Relief.
Yes. Why is that there, Learninator?
Because you've created order.
Yes. That's exactly right. I've created order. It creates that feeling, that satisfying feeling. It's like when I'm hungry and I eat. When I pick up the fucking socks. If you comb your hair. If you get in a relationship, right? Isn't there tension right now, Tim Will, when you're not in a relationship? Isn't there tension to get into one? Aren't you like, fuck, I wish I had a girl to fuck. I wish I had a girl to hang out with. Isn't there tension right now in your life?
There's a little bit, yeah, but
There's
it's
a little
not
bit.
as much as it
Yeah,
used
you
to.
look like a happy camper. Shut up. Happy guy. Tim Will, how's your happiness on a scale of 1 to 10?
4.
4. So you're up to a 4? I think you're up to like a 1.5 of 4.
I think -1 or something.
I would say -1. I would say your expression from maybe 20 podcasts ago to now has gone backwards in time.
Yeah.
If you're at a 4 now, I would say you were at like an 8 the previous podcast. So something between then and now has happened.
Mm-hmm.
Either there are growing pains or there are sufferings going on.
Yeah, I remember when he first would come on, very expressive.
Yeah, so obviously something is telling me, social cues are telling me, something has affected Tim Will, which in turn affects me. You're like a sock on my floor, Tim Will. You are affecting my life. I can't walk over you and go, I'll deal with Tim Will later. Oh, he's just having a grumpy day today. Oh, he's just having a grumpy class today. You're like a sock. Another sock. Every time I see you in class, it's another sock on the floor. Eventually, I gotta deal with it. I cannot pass it by. This is the same with Pillow Fort. Every time I read his posts, I want to go, fucking Pillow Fort post. This is going to be another post about an airplane, or about a stop sign, or about a curb, or about a food on the menu. This is going to be a post about nothing. I'm going to learn nothing about Pillow Fort again. And so what do? I don't post anything. I don't respond to it. I just skip it. I continue on. I go, well, he's fucking paying the $10 fee for me to tolerate him. Might as well just keep him around. He's another sock on my fucking floor, on the Manhood Academy floor. Eventually, guess what? I can't just fucking stare at that sock. It's like another sock is being put there. Another one, another one, another one. Eventually I gotta go, Pillow Fort, you motherfucker. I gotta tell Pillow Fort how I'm feeling about his post, what I think about his presence here at the academy. I would rather him keep going forward, keep pressing on, or quit. I don't want him to I don't want to just tolerate him or just have him stay the same way. It affects my social life here at the academy. Tim Will, your face affects my social life here at the academy.
It's a smile.
No, it's not a smile. You fucking Boggles is like a photographer with a ducky and here, Tim Will, you look at the ducky. Oh, Tim Will's a smile. Everything's solved. Fucking Boggles train wrecks everything. My point is, unless I pick up the Tim Will sock on the floor, I am miserable in class, along with you. My relief is turning off the classroom cam and not seeing your face again, Tim Will. That is my relief. Because while you're here, I am suffering, you're suffering, and the added benefit I have is I don't even know why you're suffering. It just is there. I know it's there, so now I have to deal with it. You at least know what it is. I don't know what it is. I just have to deal with it. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You're smoking, I get secondhand smoke. That's exactly how I feel. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor right now, yes. Your problem is the cigarette, and I'm getting the secondhand smoke from whatever problem it is you're experiencing. That's exactly how I feel. Zenik, whatever effect you get out of the classroom, that's exactly the effect I get out of it. See, it's like the opposite effect. Instead of the Tim Will effect, I get like, well, you're getting something in the classroom. It seems like you want to participate. It seems like you're affected. You get a realization, or you're dealing with your social situation in a certain way. It affects me too. Right, Academic One?
Yes.
Yes. What's been going on, Academic One? What's up?
The phone started ringing like crazy, so I had to mute myself for a second.
Okay. Got a drug deal going on? What's up?
No drug deals here.
Just a lot of phone ringing? Telemarketer? Mad telemarketer won't go away?
It's the house phone. I'm not answering it.
House phone? You got a house phone for like 12 people?
Yeah.
It's a lot of ringing. Did you ever answer the phone and go, hey, motherfucker, I'm in the middle of a Manhood Academy class. How about you ring in an hour?
Yeah, stop calling.
No, I've never done that.
You gotta try that out. See what they say. What? Why should I not call my boyfriend? Just cause you're in a class. You say cause it's fucking important, man. I'm learning how to socialize so I don't stab you in the future.
So I don't come over and kill you.
What's up, Horton?
I just had some good enchiladas for dinner. My wife made. That was pretty nice.
Yeah? You think I'm wondering about enchiladas?
Sour cream, cilantro.
You think I'm worried about sour cream and cilantro? You asshole? What do you think I care about, Horton?
Social confidence.
What do you think I care about, Horton? Take a wild guess.
I don't think you. How my interactions with other Manhood Academy students have been?
Well, that would be great, but even more important than that.
You.
Bogler's got to say something every time.
Yeah, Bogler, shut up. I'm talking to fucking Horton. He's shy.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
I guess you care about...
Bogler, with that light behind you, it looks like the film box of the 40-year-old version.
Oh, yeah.
All right, go ahead. Sorry, Horton. What were you saying?
Just what I've been up to for how my social confidence has been growing, how I've been training, any of that kind of stuff.
Any of that kind of stuff. Well, let's see. Since I'm less vague than you and more specific, I remember... Here's exactly what I'm concerned with about you, and nothing else. Well, let's go over to expectation management. Why would I be going there?
For making posts.
Oh, let's see. I read a post by. Oh, paying student Horton. Let's see what Horton has to say. He's probably just talking about, he talked to an officer and got out of a ticket or something cool like that. He learned some little trick at Manhood Academy or something like that, right? And then we go over here and we go. Oh, actually, we got to start on page 1 here. Have we covered any of your EM reports yet, Horton?
I don't remember.
Okay, we'll figure out right now. So lo and
I think I
behold,
did in the lab, but not in class.
okay, so lo and behold, I come up to Horton's EM report, and Horton has here. My wife was resting in bed. She said she didn't feel well because she waited too long to eat breakfast. I pissed in the bathroom adjacent to the bedroom and then laid down next to her. She quickly said, Why'd you leave the bathroom light on? I did this by accident, but it was annoying as the light on also leaves the fan on, which makes noise. Of course it makes noise. Horton says, can you turn it off? Wife, no, you left it on. And since we're playing even Steven, you gotta do it. Blah, blah, blah. Horton says, because he's the husband, he's in fucking charge of this relationship, get up and turn it off before you get a backhand. The wife says, why are you talking to me like that? You are the one who left it on, and since we're equals and since I'm a feminist, you get to do yourself, Horton. You got 2 hands, 2 feet, you can do yourself. Horton says, I didn't marry no black woman. Horton says, I'm asking you to turn it off, restating expectation. Horton's fucking about to blow his top. Then Horton remembers something he read at Manhood Academy. A good wife would do a simple thing like that when asked. He makes a positive association. I'm like, oh, is that a student? Remembering to use peer pressure positive association to try and get his expectations met? Wife. A good husband wouldn't leave the bathroom light on. Oh, right, back at. Oh, you go, girl. You go, girl. Right now Professor Plum is invested in the soap opera. What's going to happen? Is Horton going to demonstrate that he's learned something at the academy, that he's growing some balls, that he's able to get his expectations met with a woman in his relationship? Or is he just going to fuck it up like always? Well, I expect Horton to fuck it up because he's a new student, obviously. So I go, Horton's just going to fuck this up. So, Horton says, oh wait, let me get a pause here. I just responded to this with a laugh, Horton says. Because it seriously took her a minute to respond. And all she did was use my line. So Horton completely ignores the ebook and thinks he's going to do something good here. So then he goes to play on his computer for 15 minutes. Then she enters. Why are you acting like such a jerk today? Punishing me with scolding. What phase is she in, Zenik?
Passive-aggressive guilting.
How do you know that?
Because, she's...
Because she's not going, fuck you, Horton. You do it
Yes.
yourself. Right?
Yes.
She's going to the whining, the guilting, the passive aggressiveness. So we're in stage 2, close to stage 3. Not there yet. I'm acting fine today. You started a fight when I asked you to do a simple task. Horton. Well, it's okay to justify himself here. Why? Why? Anybody?
He's established authority.
Does it look like he established it? Whoa, who said that? Sorry.
Reasoning. Boggles said it.
Boggles, what'd you say?
Reasoning.
Learninator?
Puts the focus back on her.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else?
You
Anybody
asked
else?
how he's justifying, right?
Yes, why is he justifying? Why is it okay for him to justify it right here?
Because she's kind of not being as aggressive now.
She's making a step forward to try to meet his expectations.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to reward that.
Mm.
So, it's okay to justify at this point. But he's getting into the reasoning thing. He should really just stick to his guns. I would stick to the punishment side here, but alright. She's trying to make a stab at it. But you were the one who left it on, justifying. I ignored her. And she walked up to me to give me a hug. Are you going to apologize? Ooh, Horton's saying, yo, you better apologize. What is your problem? I don't know why you're acting so weird. Right? Uh-oh. Back to Horton being the problem. Okay, so he just went back to looking at his computer and she left. Can you just tell me what's wrong with you today? So this is day 2? Horton, is this day 2?
No, eventually I left the room.
Okay, so she comes into another room and she follows you around or something?
And she's in a room I walked by.
Okay, so there's a lot of rooms here. It's a big mansion in Horton's house.
It's a 3-bedroom condo.
Can you just tell me what's wrong with you today? Nothing is wrong. I'm having a great day. All wrong responses. I don't get why you started a fight over a little thing like a light being on. Horton should just be, look, you are the problem. This is the focus. Not about his great day, not about nothing is wrong. Is nothing wrong an accurate diagnosis of this situation, Tim Will?
It's not accurate.
No, it's not accurate in the least. Of course there's a problem. Anytime your woman in your relationship is trying to become the guy in the relationship and take charge of it, there is something definitely wrong. That is the heart of being wrong in a relationship. There could be nothing more wrong in a relationship. That is more of a problem than her arm getting cut off in a car accident.
I just thought it was okay to try to act unaffected.
You thought wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
So wife says, fine. Horton is already in justify mode. Horton, I'm not your wife. Justifications don't work here. Okay, so Horton says, are you going to apologize? I'm sorry. Wife says, rewarding with an apology. Okay, come here. Oh, now he's rewarding. While I'm hugging, she says, I just didn't like the tone you used. Horton, of course, fucks it up by saying, next time I'll pay attention to how I ask, right? He should have said, what the fuck did I just tell you? He should completely ignore that and say, look, don't act like a bitch. You need to act like a good wife. It has nothing to do with my tone. It has everything to do with you acting like a bitch, trying to usurp my authority, trying to become the husband. This is the issue, not your tone. You could have been screaming at her and it still wouldn't have been the issue.
I don't understand that because lots of our expectations all have to do with imposing order. So if I'm coming from a place of disorder...
Yes. Guess what? Have I ever been wrong in class, Horton?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure too. If I've been wrong in class, is it all right for you to go, Professor Plum's wrong, I'm in charge now?
Oh, fuck, I know what you're getting at.
Oh, if you know what I'm getting at, well, then you answer your own question. So what's the answer?
You're the leader, and we shouldn't only follow your lead when we feel it's the right way.
So just because I'm wrong, you should follow me too? What if I say jump off a cliff? Isn't that wrong?
I wouldn't do that.
Oh, you wouldn't? Well, we got some situations. Okay. Do we care about situations in class, Emmett? Can you sum this up for what he's trying to talk about or what we're talking about here?
I guess essentially, to sum it up, you should follow authority for the sake of respecting authority. But if what's being requested of you crosses kind of ethical boundaries, like telling you to jump off a bridge or telling you to murder someone, something horrifyingly dysfunctional, then you shouldn't. But
yes, barring me telling you to cut somebody's arm off or kill yourself or do something dangerous or unethical or rob a bank, you should respect my authority. Not because I'm right or wrong, but because I'm in charge. And I will be wrong. You may have been screaming. Your tone may have been out of line. But you can deal with that after she respects your authority, not while you're establishing your authority. While you're establishing your authority, you throwing a cereal box is irrelevant. You throwing a tantrum is irrelevant. You screaming is irrelevant. You justifying yourself too much, irrelevant. You putting a pouty face on, irrelevant. What's relevant, Horton?
Establishing your authority.
Yes. Then after that, then you can worry about addressing your pouty face, your bad demeanor, your yelling, your screaming, etc. After she's respecting your authority. Why did this asshole send me this flying animation video? Motherfucker. Get out of here. Nobody wants to see your stupid video. Okay, so Horton fucks this one up, but I'm reading it. Horton's doing some good things here. He's done a couple bad things, but he's learning. He's on the way there. This is awesome. Then Horton comes around with, hold on, it gets better. Okay, as long as you're sure she's a Jedi mind. Yeah, Horton tries to justify himself again. We ignore that. Copying a great post. Okay, so here we go. Horton's talking about his life after Manhood Academy, right? I reread the section of the ebook, and I read the thread on good expression. My thoughts are now full like lungs with too much inhaled here. Time to exhale. I feel jumbled. Okay, let's skip to the good part here. Okay. The weird and new thing. Wait, did I cover it? Did I miss it? But now she was off to work to run errands. I'm so prideful and overjoyed because of the experiences I had with my wife yesterday. She obeyed me in everything I asked. She was off to work, so I had errands for her to run. Oh, look at this motherfucker getting brave. It's satisfying to know these things are taken care of without even thinking about it. I used to be more on her terms if she felt like doing this or that. But now that I am being very clear and direct about my expectations, I know these tasks will get done when I want them to. I had thought about ordering her around would produce resentment, but contrarily, she was very happy to tell me she had accomplished everything. Wow. See, I'm getting a boner just reading this. I'm getting a thrill, a vicarious thrill, living through Horton, realizing his life is being affected by what we've written in the ebook. I'm getting a thrill out of this, right? Unlike Tim Wills not getting a thrill, I am getting a thrill. So, let's see here. She even went above and beyond and purchased me a present. What? Now she's buying him like sexy underwear and stuff. I feel like I really have a wife now and not just a partner. Not just a partner, right? I want to just be partners with you, 50-50. It is similar to the feeling I mentioned earlier of being on the right path finally. The weird and new thing, here's the good part, okay, here we go. The weird and new thing is what a turn on it is. She was wearing lingerie like I told her to when I got home. But the real turn on, more than her revealing clothes, was her submissive behavior. My horniness felt different. It was a horniness of power. It wasn't, oh, I really want to fuck that. Please let me fuck that. Oh, it's so nice that your pussy feels so warm. Please let me fuck you. Is this okay? Is this tender? That's how my less used to manifest. Disgusting. This time was much different. Bitch, suck this dick. Get this dick down your throat. Right? When I come home, I tell her, get on your fucking knees and get this dick in your mouth. And she's like, but what about a kiss? And I said, kiss the dick. Get the fucking dick in your mouth. I did not talk about any kissing yet. Once she gets the dick in her mouth, then I kiss her, right? After she's obeying my expectations. This bitch is mine to fuck, and I'm going to do exactly what I want, when I want, and she's going to be grateful for it. Wow, now I'm fucking invested in this entry. Now it's like a fucking soap opera, right? This is like a chick soap opera for Plum, okay? When we finished dinner, I remembered to praise her. I massaged her back, said, I really enjoy it when you dress up for me. Okay, here we go. Then he goes, go to the bedroom. He's going to fuck the shit out of her. But she's like, why? What do you want to do? Horde just says, bitch, did I fucking tell you to ask me questions? I said, get in the fucking bedroom right now. Horde says, oh, okay. Now her pussy is fucking Niagara Falls in there. And Horde just fucks the shit out of her. And then she says, you're just like Zenek 9000, the Series 9000, right? Just like a robot, in a good way though. He's like a fucking automaton. I was reading this in person thinking, Horton's like a robot in the bedroom, she doesn't like that? Then I realized, oh, Horton meant like he's like one of those oil derricks that just doesn't stop pounding. Horton was pounding the shit out of his wife. Okay, so now I'm like, what the fuck? This is a new student already picking up on some of the things we're teaching here. And it's going awesome, and the sex life is improving. I'm like invested, but now, all of a sudden, we got a monkey wrench in the works here. All of a sudden, Horton starts writing, can you send me a sexy photo next, right? Can you send me a sexy photo, please? Actually, can you read this line, Travo, for me? Right here. Can you read this line the right way?
Can you send me a sexy photo next?
Yeah. Wife? Is it okay if you send me a sexy... Here, we can get Learnator to even read it even better. Learnator, why don't you read that?
Send me a sexy photo next?
Yeah, I couldn't even tell that wasn't your normal voice. That's exactly how it sounded, right? Can you send me a sexy photo next? What should he have been doing if he wanted that photo, Tim Will?
Send me a sexy photo of yourself.
That fucking photo better be here in 10 minutes. That's what that text should have said. You got about 10 fucking minutes to get bent over. I don't care if you're at work. You better go in the bathroom and figure out how to get your pussy on that camera and get it sent over to my camera, or somebody's getting a fucking spanking when I get home. That's what should have been in the text, not, can you send me a picture? Wife, not today, maybe sometime next week. Can you translate this for me, Zyger? Not today, maybe sometime next week.
Yeah, like, I'm testing to see if you're, like, it's defiance of authority. Like, I don't feel like it. I don't think you're authoritative enough.
Not quite, actually. Academic 1, you want to translate this into girlies for me? From girlies into English?
Basically, you say, I don't respect your authority.
No.
I'm gonna do it on my terms.
Zenek, can you explain this one to me? Can you translate it for me?
I don't think I can.
Travo, you have any experience translating girlies into English?
Yeah, let's see. Not today, maybe sometime next week. It's basically, don't stop being a pussy and...
Bogler, can you translate this into English for me?
Not today, maybe when you ask me like a fucking man.
Timo, can you translate this into English for me?
I can't.
Learninator, you're our last go-to guy.
Well, his problem is that he didn't provide enough positive.
Motherfucker, shut up. You and your ebook terms. Let's translate this. No, not today, maybe sometime next week. This is... let me translate this for you, okay? Horton, pay attention, Horton. You hearing this?
Yes, I am.
I'm insecure. I'm a girl. I don't feel comfortable sending you a photo. You know why I don't feel secure? Horton? Horton. Hello, are you there?
Because I wasn't leading properly?
Because I wasn't leading properly? Yeah, exactly, Horton. I feel like I'm in a lesbian relationship, and you're the other girl. Horton, that's why I'm so insecure. Horton, I don't feel sexy enough to send that photo. I don't feel good about my body, Horton, because I'm insecure. Why am I insecure? Horton? Horton, are you there?
Because I'm not leading?
Because I'm married to a lesbian. Exactly, Horton. I'm married to a lesbian. We're both like talking like this, Horton, because I'm not leading, because I don't know. Everybody's insecure, Horton. That's why I have to take Prozac when you're not home. Horton, if you made me feel secure, if you set the boundaries definitely, not only would my pussy get wet, but if I was apprehensive about sending a naked pic, you would make me feel sexy. You'd go, look, you look sexy as fuck, now send that pic over. And then you wouldn't take excuses. And because you wouldn't take excuses, I would go, oh, this guy's in charge. And then I would feel super secure. And they wouldn't have a problem sucking your dick right when I walked in the door. Because I wouldn't be married to a lesbian. I'd be married to an actual guy. Did you catch that translation, Horton?
I did.
Okay, good. Then Horton says, don't be a prude. Send me a photo, right? Punishing my scolding. Okay, going back to the ebook. Did you send me the photo yet? Right, got ignored. No, I told you next week. So then can you translate that into English for me, Travo?
I still don't feel secure enough, so...
Yeah. So I'm going to make an excuse. I'm just going to bump it to next week, so hopefully you'll forget and not ask me. Did she have it marked on her calendar for next week, Horton? Do you think she went to her Google Plus and said, oh, I said I'm going to get that picture for him next week. That meant next week. That meant, let's see, it was the 15th now, so I count 7 days. 15 plus 7, that's 22. I'm going to put that here for 22, and I want to make sure the time's accurate, so I'm going to make sure this is next week. So I'm going to have it next week right when we planned. Right? Is that how that happened? Shy Willie, is that how that happened? Didn't catch it, Shy Willie. The suspense and still didn't catch it. No, exactly. No, that's not how that happened. Why did she say in a week, Zyger?
Well, because she never wants to do it.
Yeah, she's saying next week, and then next week she'll have what? She'll have it ready? What will she have next week?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. It'll be next. I meant next week after, because I got a cold this week. What's going to happen after a cold, Zenik?
Next will be,
No, she's getting too much weight.
I'm too busy at work.
No, it's going to be AIDS. Then she's going to have a year-long excuse. After her AIDS gets cured, then after Horton invests in AZT medication, then what's going to happen after that, Tim Will?
I have a headache.
Yeah, but that's only going to last for an hour. That's not going to happen. What's going to happen after that, Learnator?
I have a skin disorder.
Yeah, it's going to be a skin disorder. It's going to take a good 4 or 5 weeks. What's going to happen after that, Academic One?
She's gonna grow a penis.
Yeah, she's going to grow a penis. Then there's going to be a sex change operation. There's going to be all kinds of excuses. And Horton's going to go, oh, that's a good excuse. Oh, that's a good excuse too. So we're looking at a lot of excuses to basically say in shorthand, what's she trying to say, Zyger, in shorthand?
Well, she doesn't feel secure enough to do
Yeah,
it.
I don't feel secure enough. I'm insecure by nature. I'm a girl. You haven't made me feel secure because you're not in charge of this relationship yet. Okay? That's why whenever girls tell you all their problems or all their things are always related to security, right? When they're outside walking the street, I don't feel safe, right? When they need to talk to 20 girls to get an opinion on a guy, I don't feel secure in my decision. Everything has to deal with their insecurity. What they're wearing, oh, I gotta wear this outfit. Why not this outfit? Because I don't feel secure if other people see me in this outfit. I don't feel secure. Everything has to do with their security. They are insecure by nature. This is why they need you to lead. This makes them feel secure. You ever notice if a girl's by herself at a bar, for anybody that's talked to a girl, she's very standoffish. Why? Insecure. What if a girl's married and you say one thing to her? You say like, hey, what's going to happen? What's the difference?
She's gonna talk your
Yeah, she's going to talk your fucking ear off. Why is she talking your fucking ear off, Tim Will? She likes you? That's a deceptive trap. You'll go like, oh, this girl, I just said, hey, and she's talking, she must be fucking after my dick, right? She must love me.
She already has a man, so she's inherently more secure.
Yes,
So
exactly. She feels more secure because she's got a boyfriend already. That's why she'll talk to your, or if you'll notice this, if you pay attention, you talk to married women, they'll be like, blah, 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 right? What are you doing? What are your interests? Where are you going to school? Where are you working? Are they interested? Fuck no. They have security. They have a guy. They feel fine talking to you. Versus if you just talk to somebody who has no boyfriend, very standoffish, very ready for the sarcastic answer, very defensive. Why? Insecurity. You haven't made them feel secure. A guy hasn't made them feel secure yet. Okay, so we're going on. No, I told you next week. I asked for one today, Horton says.
This goes on forever.
Yeah. What's the deal? Don't you have other pictures you can look at? Oh, is this good, Travo? What's happening here? What's the big deal? Don't you have other pictures that you can look at? What's this tell you, Travo?
She's just complaining about it instead of...
No. What's this tell me, Zenik? What's the big deal? Don't you have other pictures you can look at?
She's trying to justify why she shouldn't send.
Yeah, didn't she just fucking say next week?
Yeah.
What's the big deal? Don't you have other pictures you can look at? Have to do with next week. It means I'm just trying to make excuses.
What's your excuse?
The fact that she doesn't even see the logic fallacy here, or the fact that she doesn't even care to explain it to him and just thinks she can get away with, oh, what's the big deal? Don't you have other pictures to look at? The fact that she's even giving him that excuse shows us if you're paying attention, what she thinks about his authority, what she thinks about him. If somebody told me this excuse, I'd put her fucking head through a plate glass window. No, I wouldn't. I'm not trying to advise you to do that. I'm just telling you in relative terms. No girl I'm dating would ever give me this excuse, or they would give it to me, and I would quickly punish it, and then they'd realize those type of excuses aren't going to fucking fly with me. They would realize that very quickly. Whereas with Horton, his authority hasn't been established yet, so these excuses are still fair game. Right? Oh, I stubbed my toe, that's why I couldn't take it. Oh, I got a temperature, that's why I couldn't take it. I wanted one today! Good for you, Horton! I want a Ferrari today! Is that going to get me the Ferrari? No. I have to punish or reward to get it. No, your pouting is not going to get you that Ferrari. I wanted one today, though. I wanted one today. Let me know when you've sent it. Is Horton's reasoning, the fact that he told her he wanted one today, and just let me know when you send it, is that going to work, Tim Will?
No.
No. What's the real problem here, Boggles?
He hasn't completely established his authority.
Yeah, from when?
From the get-go.
From the get-go. The problem didn't start today. The fact that he's asking for a picture is only uncovering the problem that was always there. It was always there.
The problem.
Yes, it's just an indicator. This authority problem was there from the very start. It just never got exposed. Why didn't it get exposed?
They were in like the honeymoon stage or whatever.
Yeah, but what exposed it?
Her not ready to meet his expectations.
Some competing expectations are on the table. Instead of just sweeping it off, or how can we compromise this expectation? How can I get my way? Right? It's just been swept under the table continually. Frustrations building up in Horton. Can't get laid enough in the marriage. Just going to porn, right? Kind of solves the problem. Kind of a Band-Aid solution. Doesn't solve the authority issue. All related. Her vagina getting moist is related to your authority or lack of it. I wanted one today. Where are we? Are you not going to talk to me then? Okay. 20 minutes later, she approaches me for a hug. So we didn't even know what happens, all right? Have you sent me a picture yet? So I'm like on the edge of my seat. What the fuck is the resolution? I think there's going to be a picture sent. And of course, no. All right. What's the problem today? Right? Go. Horton just says go. I don't know. Why do you say go, Horton? What happened there? Just get the fuck. Is that a get the fuck out of here?
Yeah.
Okay. So first, Horton says, you are making a big deal out of it. Can you leave my room?
Can you?
Get the fuck out of here! I told you to get that picture. Don't get back in this fucking room until that picture's sent. She left the room. And now fucking Horton leaves me hanging here. And now, I come to talk to Horton in class, and all he wants to talk to me about is, yeah, I'm having some roast beef, and flowers are growing outside, and I went to the dentist, got a filling for my cavity, and then, yeah, that's all. Do I care about any of that shit? What do I care about, Shy Willie? What's suspense? Shy Willie, you got it unmuted? I got the lag. Oh, wait, hold on, here it comes. I care about him. What? It's like waiting for Stephen Hawking to talk. And you care about. Come on, Stephen Hawking, spit it out. What do I care about?
About his thoughts and feelings.
Okay, be more specific. His thoughts and feelings. Shy Willie, what did we just talk about? This whole time, what did I spend 5 hours just reading? What do I care about? The only thing I know about Horton.
You care about his relationship and...
I care about him getting naked pictures, motherfucker. I don't care about any of this other shit. I care about what I know about Horton. What Horton has shared with me. This is the basis of our relationship. All I know about Horton is he's trying to get naked pics. That's all I care about Horton right now. That's all Horton has shared with me. Now I'm kind of minimizing it. Obviously he shared a little bit more about how he's realizing things and his expectations and whatnot. Those are the things I care about, what he's sharing about. But specifically, this situation is unresolved. It's like playing a half a chord and not finishing the song. What do I care about, Zenik?
You care about whether he's getting the naked pictures?
I care about the fucking naked pictures, right?
Yeah.
This is like Zyger telling me, oh, guess what? And then I go, what? He goes, I'll tell you next week. And then next week rolls around, and I go, yeah, hey, Zyger, what's going on? And Zyger goes, oh, nothing, I'm just hanging out, got some stuff, went to the restaurant. I go, what the fuck, motherfucker? You left me hanging, man. You tell me a detail about your life, you tell me something about your life, you get me invested, and then you just leave me hanging like that? Nothing. What's going on, Tim Will? You got me all invested. You're all happy, excited. You were responding in the podcast. You had enthusiasm. And all of a sudden, now you're just quiet. Now you're just one-word answers. You fucking leave me hanging, motherfucker. Exactly my point. I don't let people get away like Horton. I don't just go, just another day. No, I go back exactly to my expectation, which is to know where you left me hanging at. So what happened, Horton, with those pictures? Unresolved?
Huh?
Unresolved? Here's my assumption. You just fucking left it, swept it under the rug, and we're like, well, I can get in a blowjob close enough.
Yeah.
That's my assumption.
It kind of felt like that, but I don't know. I don't know how to express it right now.
You don't know. That's why we have an EM expectation management section, for you to figure out how to express it and to not leave me hanging. To not tell me about what you had for dinner. I don't care about any of that shit. I care about what you told me about yourself, your personal reactions, your thoughts, your feelings, your relationship, you basically. Not the factual statements about you, what you did. You had cereal for lunch. You took a walk in the park. These are incidental things. This is stuff Pillowfort would tell me. This is why I tuned Pillowfort out. There's no relationship with Pillowfort. And the worst part is what? What's the worst part, Zenek, about the Pillowfort relationship, or the Pillowfort situation, I would call it. Not even the Pillowfort relationship. This is like the Philadelphia experiment. What's the worst part?
He doesn't even show up to classes or hangouts. Or
Okay, that's one thing. Let's say he just doesn't have a webcam or whatever. What's the worst part about the situation, Tim Will?
He doesn't know.
I've been somewhat frank about the situation, candid about it. Actually, I've been pretty candid about it. So, and he's responded. What's that?
He hasn't learned from it.
Well, but what else?
He's adamant to fix it.
What?
He's adamant to fix it.
If he's adamant to fix it, that'd be a great thing. Learnator, what else?
I don't know.
Zyg?
I'm getting crazy delay here, so I have trouble following this conversation.
Don't worry about it. Travo, did I ask you?
Could you repeat the question?
No. So we got Pillowfort. And we got Pillowfort and my relationship with Pillowfort, which is like your relationship with most of the students at the academy. It's just not there, or not pleasant, not enjoyable at all. But the worst part is, he's like, well, I'm just doing things my way.
Yeah.
Just doing things my way.
He's adamant to fix it.
What? Boggles, your sentence doesn't even make sense.
Doesn't that mean he's adamant to fix his...
No,
he's stubborn.
He's doing it his way. Adamant to fix it would mean he would just fix it in general. He could do it my way or his way. Adamant to fix it or do it adamant to do it his way doesn't imply he's fixing it.
He's stubborn to fix it. Anyways, to me that's synonymous.
It's not synonymous. If you're adamant to fix it, adamant just means you really want to fix it. You're determined to fix it.
Oh, is that what adamant means? Oh shit.
Oh shit. Boggles, you just ruined the entire podcast. Now I gotta cut the podcast off. Unbelievable, Boggles.
Now I know what meaning.
Now the whole podcast is ruined, Boggles. I gotta start over.
It's not ruined, let's go on.
No, I can't. I gotta delete the whole podcast now.
Oh no.
Oh, Boggles.
I'm okay with that.
Sure you are.
Tim Will's okay with deleting the podcast. No, Tim Will, this is going to be a learning milestone for you. You're going to come back and dread listening to this podcast and go, fuck, that was me 3 years ago. What the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. So, there's abundance of Pillowfort relationships at this academy, but there are abundance of beacons of hope here as well. Sometimes I come to the academy and I think, why are these fucking students here? They're tragic. They're a tragedy. Right? I see I remember, a couple, maybe a year ago, we'd see like a post every now and then. It was mostly just me just writing articles or sharing things. Every now and then we get a response. Every now and then Zyg would write something brilliant. Be like, oh, cool. Somebody's paying attention. Now we're getting more participation. It's like, oh, great. But every now and then it's still like these same types of issues. It's like, it's part of the, it's part of the growing process. There's always going to be a Horton in class. There's always going to be a Tim Will in class. There's always going to be Shy Willie. He's going to be shy. But these guys are not going to stay static, especially when I'm influencing the social interaction. You guys have no choice but to go forward. You have no choice. I will not let you remain the same. Either you will get pissed and you will leave the academy, or you will go forward. You will grow forward. Look at Travo. How did Travo used to speak on the podcast? Zyger?
I don't know. I've never heard him speak.
You've never heard him on a podcast. You should listen to him. Learninator, how did Travel used to sound on podcasts?
Me?
Learninator? How did Travel used to sound on podcasts? What's that?
Sound like me.
Yeah, exactly. He sounded like you. He didn't sound like this. Can he laugh? He still does his Travel laugh. I Travel. I don't know how to respond. So it's just kind of kind of muffled laugh. It's like a nervous laugh. It's like my poker self. If I was representing aces at the poker table, would tell you I got 2-7. Go ahead, go all in on me. You're gonna win the pot. Now Travel's like, oh, he's ready. He's raising his hand. Even when he has an answer, you notice Travel's ready. He jumps in with the answer. This is the answer. Even if it's the wrong answer, he's more willing to take the chance, and he's learned how to at least be definite with the wrong answer or the right answer. Right? This is new Travo. This is encouraging to me.
2.0.
Travo 2.0, exactly. So we're seeing a definite progression. Even Tim Will, he may not be his typical happy camper self. I don't know if he ever was, but he's not as cheerful as of late. But Tim Will still gives more competent answers. He knows I demand a specific answer now because I've trained him to give a specific answer, not to just give me a fucking ebook answer. And if he doesn't give me an ebook answer, he gives me a better answer. He gives me the I don't know answer, which is better than giving me a general vague answer. That's true. Yes, I agree. Learninator, still give me the fucking bullshit answers, right? So every now and then we'll get the ebook says, stipulation by incognation, leads to the, surpitation of the rexolation, right? And then all students go, oh, that sounds like it came from the ebook. That's probably what Plum is looking for. No. I'm looking for what I never understood about my teachers until I actually started teaching something where I thought was valuable. When they talk about, I used to have teachers, and I didn't think they were really great teachers. That's part of the problem. But they always used to go, I'm giving this test to test your knowledge. Not to test that you know the answers, but to test your knowledge of the subject. So I'm not going to ask you, what's on page 37? What's a reward, on page 37? Give me one type of reward. No, I'm going to ask you, when do you reward? Why would you reward in this situation and not reward in this situation? Why do I ask those types of questions, Zenik?
Because they're practical.
They're practical and demonstrate what?
I don't know.
They demonstrate what, Boggles?
That you understand the material and not just memorize facts.
Yeah, because if I know when you're just memorizing facts, you're just so fucking eager to throw out a TION word.
Yeah.
But when you give me a real answer, it shows you have a competent understanding. Shows you have a comprehensive understanding of the ebook. You understand the principles and not just a fucking situation. Like when Horton gives me answers, he answers according to a situation. He goes, well, I know about this situation and this situation. But what Horton doesn't realize is that what? Zenik?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. What doesn't he realize, Tim Will?
He doesn't realize the principles that govern every interaction.
He understands this situation over here and that situation over there, but what doesn't he realize?
The principles underlying the situations.
Yes, he doesn't realize that there's going to be a billion different situations and they'll all change and he won't know what the fuck to do if he doesn't understand the principles behind that situation. Right? He's answering me, well, I know what to do when she argues with me here, or I know what to do what happens in a bar, or in a club, or in class. Well, what happens when they get rid of bars? They make things called chars. Instead of techno music, they're playing country music. You won't know what to do because you're concentrating on the situation and not understanding the principle. Right, academic one?
Yes, we have to learn the application of the principles to different situations.
Yes. You have to learn how to apply that so that when you can apply the principle, that means you understand the principle. When you understand how gravity works, you know that it's okay to walk along the edge of a curb and not even worry about it, give it a second thought. But that also means you know to be careful when you're walking along the ledge of a building. That means you know that if you throw an egg up over your head to get the fuck out of the way because you know it's going to come down. That also means you know how to use a pulley system if you're trying to move something really heavy. All of these things have to do with the principle of gravity, but because you have a competent, comprehensive understanding of gravity, you know how to take advantage of it. You don't just know about gravity on the moon, or gravity on the earth, or gravity when you're just dealing with a curb, or only on a building ledge. You know how to behave everywhere because you understand how gravity works. You understand the principle behind it. This is the same thing with social interaction. You have to learn the principles. You have to become competent at understanding the principle, not just one situation. I love it when the fucking critics read our ebook. I just read the other fucking critique from some retard. And the hilarious thing is they always start from a position of like intellectual superiority. Like, look at this example he gave. I can't believe he'd literally say this in the comments. They're so fucking stupid. They don't understand that I'm painting an example that demonstrates a principle. I am not painting an actual example of how something would go in X, Y, and Z situation. The fact that they don't even grasp that it's not even possible, it's not even humanly possible to paint the number of different scenarios you will come across in a social interaction, the number of combinations, how many people, guy, girl, social situation, night, day, time of your life, etc. The myriad of situations are not possible to give examples of every single situation. The fact that they would pinpoint one example and go, how would this ever work? How would this description ever get a girl? Are they fucking nuts? Are they that fucking retarded? The answer is sadly is yes, they are that fucking retarded. But they're taking a position of authority. They're taking an intellectual position. I'm here to teach you guys something. Haha. I'm here to give critical commentary. The same nonsensical approach to life is exhibited by so many people. If you understand the principles, as hard as they are to learn, once you become competent at taking advantage of them, of understanding how your life is governed by them, so you change your behavior accordingly, you will have such an advantage over the myriad of retards out there. I have such an advantage whenever I talk to anybody. Do you realize that? When I talk to a fucking grocer, when I talk to, the pizza guy, when I talk to a new person I want to meet, when I talk to a girl I like, I have such a fucking advantage. It's ridiculous. Can you imagine the advantage I have, Zyger, when I'm talking to somebody new that I don't know, they don't know me, I don't know them?
Yeah, you can get them in your pockets very easily.
Yeah. They're such... Yeah. Do you understand the advantage I have of talking to Horton in class right now? I mean, Horton could be very well versed as an accountant, as a bookkeeper, as a lawyer. He could be very skilled at his profession. But do you realize because I understand social principles, it doesn't matter. I have such an advantage over him, even though he has way more knowledge in a subject than me, and we could be discussing that subject where he's more competent at it than I am.
In society, social competence overrides everything.
It really does. I mean, I come in contact with people, like when I'm exercising in certain sports I play, I come in contact with people who are way better at it than I am. But because my social competence is a lot better, it's much easier for me to navigate that sport or to talk to people within that sport or to get into that community. It's much easier. It's almost simple to talk to people now because you realize when you talk to people, you'll pick up on the same cues that you miss when you talk to people. Like, if I talk to Zyger or if I talk to Zenik, I could read from the expression on their face how they're responding. I could tell if they're very sloppy with their answers, if they're sloppy with their discipline, if they answer me with very vague answers, or that, they're very neurotic, or their voice tone is, just very much like Travo's when he first started. I could tell a lot of things about them, and instantly I can, if this guy's super nervous,
it shows.
Right? It'll show immediately. Right? Even super cool guys who are standoffish, right? They give you 1 or 2 word answers. You can read them in a heartbeat.
Super shy.
Right? I talked to Dr. Ladice's friend, but we were on our way to go someplace, and it was like a cool frat guy type guy. And about 3 drinks in, we figured out, oh, I wish I was more like you, bro. I wish I could open up like you. When initially he was the cool guy. He's like, hey, what's up, bro? Right? Found out very quickly. Everybody's the same. Everybody is affected by gravity just the same. If you understand the social principles, guess what? You guys understand me. The reason, if you think I'm a mystery, the only reason I'm a mystery is because you haven't been paying attention in class. That's the only reason I'm a mystery to you. If I am on your wall as a poster, you do not understand social interaction.
Well, I do not.
Yes. You could be that poster on the wall very easily. The only difference is perspective. It's not capacity, it's not ability, it's just training and perspective. That's it. This is not, the good news is about social interaction, it's not like you have to be Michael Jordan to be good at it. It's not like you have to have a natural jumping ability. Everybody here has the ability to competently run the social interactions in their life, to get a girlfriend, to work, to have a better job, a better job environment, to affect your family, etc. Everybody has that capacity here. It's not like you have to be Michael Jordan. You don't have to be the smartest guy on the planet. You don't have to be the fastest talker. You just have to be aware of how the principles are affecting people in your lives, how to be aware of them, how to take advantage of those principles, how to behave so that your behavior is governed by those principles so that you get a favorable outcome in a social interaction. So it's not like you gotta go, oh, I wish I was plumb. I just wish I could be plumb. And then I could dunk.
What about your infinite knowledge compared to me? You know a lot more about things than me.
Okay, before Bogler fucking kills the podcast again, let me say, is there any more questions or comments?
Tiger.
I'm going to leave because it's very late. I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Before I leave, just earlier today I posted a draft for expression post revision thing. It's not finished yet, but I want to know, do you think this is a stupid idea or?
No, I was reading some. It's just like I think it could definitely use some work. I already changed one or two things on it, but I haven't fully read all of it. It's just like your chart, your EM chart. It just makes it that much more easier for students to like go checklist. What am I doing? Because a lot of things are in different places. We got the ebook. It's got a lot of explanation, and the chart kind of like those little simplified things. I think those things are really helpful because people can kind of go, okay, am I sharing my reaction? Is this just static information, or is this me giving my thoughts behind this? Am I talking about?
For myself.
Yeah, and one of the things that's great if it works for you. One of the things I would also include, which is super important, is that when students are first starting out, they're like Bogler. They want to share about yogurt, and they want to share their personal reaction about yogurt, but nobody cares until people are in a relationship with them. Then yogurt yogurt might matter to them. But before that relationship is developed, nobody cares about how in depth you get.
About yourself.
Yes, in your reaction about yogurt, your personal reaction about yogurt is irrelevant until there's that relationship built. So I would add that as one of the things. The other thing I would address is that doesn't have to do with it is the to-do list on the schedule. I would nix that idea for the reasons I put on there is that you got to limit your time. That's why we have those scheduling blocks. And if you put everything on a to-do list, a person with a good work ethic or who is already knowledgeable in how to manage their time would have no problem doing a to-do list. But if you give somebody like Zenick 20 items to do and just say, hey, you have an hour to do this and this, he's going to be fucking overwhelmed, number one. And number two, he's not going to be organized enough to get those things done in an appropriate amount of time. That's why it's good for him to schedule each activity in a block of time. Even if he does it, if he finishes that task and he's got extra time, he can always work on something else. But if he doesn't have that thing assigned to a specific block of time, it's just going to pile up on him. It's just like a pile of.
Right.
It's just like
the idea was a problem I had with the time slots is that I did do this for 1 hour, and then I would do it slowly or procrastinate a little bit. Right. So I would basically do it for an hour, but I wouldn't reach specific objectives. So
is it because you had too much time? Like you could have done it in 30 minutes when you gave yourself an hour?
That's one part, yes. So what I did was I put a task list, but of specific objectives to meet.
Okay, well then your schedule.
I had to do them in the right order.
Okay, well your schedule could benefit from then just adjusting the times. Because if you can do something in shorter time, that's great. Or you could throw something in that you haven't done that's on your schedule ahead. You can do that ahead of time. But to have those things scheduled out is much better because, like I said, if you have a task list of 20 things and you have to decide when you do them, that's going to be...
No, I have to do them in the right order, the exact order that they're set. That's the restriction.
Okay, well once again, it becomes like socks on the floor. It's like seeing a mountain of socks on the floor versus if you have a plan and at this hour you're supposed to pick up this pair. That's much easier to manage because you don't have to think about it versus you got to go, oh, I got 300 pairs of socks and now I got to pick up this one within this amount of time, etc. It's going to be that much more of a headache and that much more of a discouragement to do it versus if you're limited, you have no option, just do it then. It's much easier to do. So I'm going to recommend against the to-do list, task list. But the expression post thing, yes. The thing I would recommend always is to see what you can group together and get rid of all the the extraneous things.
Duplications.
Yes, not just the duplications, but the things that become extraneous, like things that don't hit the principles.
Make it as short as possible. Straight
Not
to the
just
point.
yes, not just for the sake of getting to the point, but because when you start adding extraneous things, then people start viewing those as like I need as an essential thing. Then it's way down. Then you become way down. That's like looking at the principle of gravity and adding on like this little thing, this little thing, this little thing. It becomes like a burden. When the principles are really, once you understand the principles, things become simpler. They become much easier to navigate.
So I need to whittle it down.
Yes, you need to whittle it down to the bare bones. Yes, exactly. But like I said, your EM guide was super helpful.
Yeah.
This thing could be in the same vein. Just a little checklist to make sure you're on topic. Simple
Tiger,
things
I
like
love those posts that you make.
check grammar.
You know the expression, you the man.
Check grammar.
Thank you.
Check whether you're sharing your emotions and your thoughts, etc. Those little checklist things, those are perfect.
All right, I'll work on it.
Okay, we're ending the podcast. Thank you guys for attending. We'll see you next time.